There is a certain type of commercial that is earning tons and tons of money for networks and cable channels, and all of it could be channeled away from them to the tune of billions of dollars if RFK and El Trumpo have their way. Today, we're talking about the billions at stake and what they might do to try to save the pharma ads coming your way to programs very few are still watching, but fund them anyway. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is a joy as ever as we endeavor explaining entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve to have you in our presence one more. Whenever you put us on your device, we think it's real nice to spend time together, and it is an attitude of gratitude every time we have the opportunity to do so. Folks, as we get started, consider clicking the like button, and we're going to open up the doors and pull back the curtain to what is happening with a very particular type of medicinal advertising and how it is causing the entertainment industry to be in a particular position when it comes to influence. All of it could be falling away. We've got the story right now for you. Going to Politico, funded perhaps by USAID. Well, they say no more, but we'll remind them of it. It says, can RFK Jr. ban pharma TV ads? It's by David Lim and Lauren Gardner. Here's the article. It says, if you believed everything you read on social media, you'd think HHS Secretary RFK Jr. had issued a sweeping proclamation Monday morning to ban prescription drug advertising on TV. That was the chatter on social media platform X from a prominent retail trader account, prompting Prescription Plus sources to reach out and wonder what they were missing. Turns out it wasn't much. The social chatter you're hearing that HHS banned pharmaceutical advertising is not accurate. HHS spokesperson Andrew Nixon told us. However, Politico wonders, is it plausible, considering Kennedy vowed to institute such a ban on day one when running for president and touted his desire to do something similar while stumping for now President Donald Trump? The notion that he'd done so wasn't surprising. Kennedy has linked the ubiquitous commercials to high U.S. spending on prescription drugs compared to other countries. It goes on to talk about whether or not he has the power to do so, but folks, people are beginning to say now that it's going to happen. It's coming. It's on its way. We'll see what happens there. It may require legislation, but it looks more and more likely. Now, why would Politico want to throw cold water on this? And why are the entertainment companies behind the scenes also lobbying to keep this stuff? Well, get ready, because here we've got the data. Coming to you from eMarketer. It's an article by Rajiv Leventhal, and it says, pharma companies increase ad spending on linear TV despite declining viewership on the platform. There is something very fascinating going on here. Listen closely to this one. Pharma companies are increasing their advertising presence on linear TV, according to a recent report from iSpot.tv. The report analyzed pharma ads on linear TV from January through August of this year. The top line findings on pharma's traditional TV ad spending. Pharma ads poured around $3.4 billion in linear TV during the first 8 months of 2024. It's an 8.1% year-over-year increase at the same time that linear TV is in decline. Drug ads generated 54.2 billion household TV ad impressions, a 4.2% year-over-year increase. Pay attention here. Nearly half of household TV ad impressions for prescription drug brands were split between ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, ION, MSNBC, and NBC. In other words, the networks and essentially cable news. ABC World News Tonight held the largest share of ad impressions. It was followed by other news shows such as Good Morning America and NBC Nightly News. I'm here to tell you too, late night TV surprisingly has a significant number of ads sponsored by these companies. Now, here's the deal. We can all say to ourselves that Big Pharma should not be advertising on TV because you can't buy these things unless someone allows you to do so. And probably most people are not qualified seeing the ad to want it. There's a difference in if Coca-Cola tells you to get what they sell versus Pepsi, you can go do that. When a medicine is offered to you, you don't have the capacity to get the medicine because it's the doctor's decision. And yet, they advertise. And people say to themselves, well, why? Why do they advertise if they're advertising to people who can't buy the thing? What if it's influence? And as we look at that number again, what if it's just on linear TV just for 8 months? $3.4 billion of influence. It's something to think about. Panel, those who own networks and linear TV are freaking out at the idea that billions and billions and billions of dollars could go away like a Thanos snap. And I think there's about to be a battle against RFK and maybe conservatives to prevent this from going the way that these companies don't want. They need the drug money. What say you?
Yeah, they definitely need the drug money. That's for sure. What? Hang on, I'm getting a report here. Yes, breaking: judge just orders that RFK can't do what he's about to do. So that's going to be how that goes. But look, I mean, the amount of influence there, Pro, I think is absolutely significant. And look, we have regulations regarding advertisements related to alcohol, related to cigarettes, related to all kinds of things. I think firearms as well. And so I don't think it's necessarily out of the realm of the executive branch to regulate what actually goes on public airwaves. I think it's well within their power to do what they they deem fit or deem necessary for the American public. And look, I think some chatters have said too that the FTC and the FCC will likely have to be involved. I think that's true, but this is a cabinet that looks like that they're going to do something about this particular aspect, and I think they're going to get their way given the precedent when it comes to the public airways.
Let me present an idea to the panel and see what you think about this. There is the possibility that a paradigm exists in which the government gave money, especially during the pandemic, to these pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies were given a massive influx of capital. They are investing that capital into TV shows related to the news. And it seems to me that that might be in order to have influence over politicians. Like, that's how I see this. I see this as a possibility. And it's why the networks might be terrified of losing the billions, but the drug companies might be terrified of the idea that they're going to lose influence over the politicians and over consumers by losing the ability to do this. But I don't see any positive. For me, at least, I don't see any actual transactional positive to having these commercials on TV. I don't see a societal benefit. Am I wrong about this?
No. In fact, and I technically, though I'm in marketing, work in the medical industry. I think it's weird that they're advertising drugs on TV anyways, because the route that people should take is if there's something wrong with you, you need to go discuss this with an actual doctor who has gone to school, who has that's why they're a doctor, an MD. They're a doctor of medicine. You need to go discuss these things with a doctor. Maybe we want a second opinion, but the doctor themselves is going to be the one who has actually looked in and really studied these medicines, and you need to be willing to let them and they might play around with you. That's what doctors do. It's called a medical practice for a reason. Sometimes they have to see what fits for each person, but for me, it just feels backwards that you're advertising a drug when really they just need to go consult with a medical doctor.
Well, and see about this, Michelle. I don't have any problem in the world with the companies going to the doctors themselves to advertise these things.
Yes, absolutely. That's how they learn about it.
Right, and the doctor's the one who can decide whether or not it goes to the consumer.
Yes.
But why in the world? And can you imagine, the change in the way that doctors have to interact now with their patients versus 10 years ago? I love the idea of people going and doing their own research so they can talk to their doctor about it. I think that's phenomenal. But the idea that somebody's sitting there one night and watches one of these ads where half of it is listing out the side effects and the last one is that your body might explode, and then the patient goes in and says, "Hey, I heard about whatever it is," and the doctor's like, "You don't even have that condition." "Yeah, but the people on it were real happy playing volleyball." It's crazy, and it's supporting some of these shows that have no viewership. Go ahead, Derek.
Well, I'm just they're showing this on news. People are already kind of nervous about what's going on in the world. So it's all in these news programs and everybody's kind of nervous. What's happening in the world? I don't understand things any longer, and I haven't been feeling well lately. And, maybe something in the news is talking about, health crises all over the world. And then you get this ad right after. We'll be right back, folks. And then you get this ad, basically outlining every problem that you have. It's like, it seems like it's, supposed to play to a specific kind of, overly concerned demographic of our population. It's like, hey, talk to those guys. They're already watching the news. They're already nervous about life. They're hooked on it. And we all should watch the news. I think that's important, but it's just interesting how they, targeted a specific, what did you say? 48% of these ads are specifically at news programs. I found that interesting. That's very, very interesting. That's the demographic they want to target, people that are watching the news, because they know they're already concerned. They're more concerned than the average person.
Anxiety medication. Go ahead, Culture.
Yeah.
Culture, unmute.
It keeps doing that automatically. It's not me. But
I'm convinced you have a cat. I'm convinced there's an invisible cat that keeps
an
stepping on your
invisible one.
butt.
Yeah, indeed. No, but they're an older demographic. They're the last people to cut the cord. They're older. They're more prone to health problems. When you see the fact that overall global advertising spend on television, especially in the United States, so let's refine it just down to the United States, has been falling precipitously. Warner Brothers Discovery just last year, when they reported some numbers, they were down 13% in commercial ad revenue. When you start to look at that, where's the money? The money hasn't changed. We've elevated over $1 trillion a year in advertising spend. That's across all things, but all that money's moving over to digital platforms like, YouTube. And as YouTube starts to gobble up even more of the percentage of viewership and steal market share from every other kind of streaming, I would imagine YouTube's going to be a nice, healthy place to be. The moment they pull the pharmaceutical advertising numbers, however, you're going to start to see significant shifts in what any of these existing outlets are going to do. That's one of the reasons why, and you brought it up, DA, perfect timing, why I see Comcast kicking MSNBC to the curb. It's why I see them maybe getting rid of CNN over at Warner Brothers. It's why I'm starting to feel like all of these people are paying attention and realize the news business is not going to be as profitable, because if they stop doing pharmaceutical ads, that'll be catastrophic for them, because as you pointed out, 40, 50, 60% of everything you see on a news program is in pharmaceutical ad. So, if they aren't getting that 40, 50, 60% of revenue, that's not a good business to be in anymore, considering that it is a low return as it is right now. That's a problem.
It's a loss leader, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, frankly, I'm sick and tired of these things. I would like for them to go away, because it's always somebody doing something happy with a group of other people in a heavy filter. And for 10 seconds, they tell you about, what the thing is, but they don't tell you what it treats. And then you get the 45 seconds of telling you all the crazy symptoms that could cause your bowels to suddenly release uncontrollably. It's like, ask your doctor if Humarexa is right for you. Possible side effects may include spontaneous British accent syndrome, excessive tap dancing, temporary invisibility, unplanned yodeling, extreme craving for pickles, and your bowels may explode. Like, enough of it, folks.
I don't know.
Get off the TVs.
You were kind of selling me on this until the last one.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about the commercials, and death is always at the end. And it's not said with anything but glee. It's like, okay, and death.
That's right. Put the side effects on Diet Coke and see how well that one goes.
I want a drug that the side effect is dreams narrated by Morgan Freeman. That's what.
Wait a minute, Jonas. You just woke me up to something.
Are
you getting paid by Big Soda? Are you one of those influencers that got bought by Big Soda?
You know what I'm getting paid by right now? I've been on a search for like sodas that have legible ingredients in it, and I started drinking one called Poppy. P-O-P-P-I.
I witnessed that.
And unfortunately, they've just been bought by Pepsi, so I have no hope for that brand anymore.
Yes, but it's because of the intestinal benefits of Poppy.
Well, it's also worrisome.
Apple cider vinegar.
It's also worrisome that poppy is exported by Afghanistan, but that's another topic for another day. Folks, tune in next week for...
You really don't want to drop that can on the floor.
Poppy.
Oh my gosh. Tune in next week for Colagate. We'll be here. And put another one in the can, folks. A video of excellence has been birthed into existence, and you were there to witness it. Thank you for participating. We hope you had a good time. Folks, it's a great time anytime we get to share time with you, and we mean it. The only thing additional we ask, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, if you would be so kind, perhaps share this out on your favorite social media platforms. Folks, we've got all kinds of content coming your way. If you are interested in going even beyond all of that, well, there's a Pro Store, and you can always find those items directly below the video you're watching. The Pro Store, it's a cool place to check out for items that, well, definitely Disney and the rest are not going to sell you, but we're happy to do so. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.